everybody, and welcome to the Craftsman Corner, where every week we bring you quick and easy do-it-yourself projects that can be assembled in minutes. I'm your host, Manny Contreras. Thank you for joining us. I have a really special guest for you all today, but before we get into that, I think you need a little bit of backstory.
Our guest today is an interesting craftsman. Not only is he a creative woodworker, but our friend Louis Diaz is a man of many talents. He's a drummer, a journalist, and a self-proclaimed scanner junkie. Some days, you can find him at KHTS Radio in Newhall, monitoring first responders' radio frequencies and writing news articles for the Santa Clarita Valley. But he spends most of the week in Chatsworth, working in the family business at Nantucket Shutters. But learning all these skills took time and patience, having lost his vision when he was only 2 years old. Despite losing his vision at a young age, Louis has managed to outshine what some might consider a great loss. He learned how to use woodworking tools between the ages of 10 to 15, and he hasn't put them down since. This creative craftsman has been bringing his wood designs to life and making our world a craftier place.
Now it's my pleasure and great honor to introduce you to our guest, Louis Diaz. Louis, you have such an amazing story. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, what are we going to be doing?
So today we're going to be building ourselves a birdhouse.
Okay, sounds good. But before we get too much into it, let's show our viewers what it should look like once it's done.
Sounds good.
This is beautiful, Louis. So you did all this all by yourself?
I sure did.
Wow, look at all these pieces. All right, so where do we get started? What materials are we going to need?
All right, so to build a birdhouse, we're going to use 7 pieces of 3/4 inch thick basswood, nails, a nail gun, a router, a chop saw, and a hole saw.
Okay, so I can already see you got a bunch of different shapes and sizes of wood there.
Yeah, so what we have here is our side pieces here. As you can see, we have our front and our backs, which have the points there for the roof to sit on, and then we have our side pieces, and we have our bottom and our roof.
Okay, and so you said we're going to hold this whole thing together with nails?
Correct.
Okay, and nail gun, why that?
Because it's more fun. You don't hit your finger with the hammer.
Okay, works for me. Let's get started, Louis.
All right, so let's put this thing together. So we're going to first start by taking our front piece. You could start with your back piece if you would like. It's just that's how I do it here.
So real quick, how did you make that hole there in the front?
So the way I made the hole is I had a hole saw, which is basically it's a cylinder that's cut in half, and on the open part there is a serrated edge with teeth. And then through the center of the hole saw, there's a shaft which connects to your drill press or your hand drill, depending on what you use. And it spins it and cuts a hole. And they make them in all different circumferences.
That's amazing how you're using your fingers there to get that perfectly flush before you use the nails.
Yeah, so when, being blind, you don't have your eyes to rely on, so you got to use your fingers. And sometimes that raises concerns for people watching because you can see my fingers very close to the gun.
Naturally.
Yeah, but what I'm doing is once I get it lined up, then I move my finger, put my other finger on the trigger, and then fire.
Fancy,
and then
okay.
That way, and you got to be careful where your other hand is because the nail can come out of the side of the house.
Oh no.
And you don't want that to happen either. So you just got to be very careful. You got to take your time. I always tell people that if you're in a rush, don't work with wood tools because it's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. All right, so we've just about got our front and back piece on. So are we going to move up to the roof or are we going down to the base first?
Yeah, so next move we're going to do is we're going to get the roof put on.
Okay. I'll let you finish up those nails there. Bang, bang. All right, so now I can also see that those roof pieces over there have more of a, I guess, an angle on one of the edges. How'd you do that?
So we used a router and we put a 45-degree angle blade on there. And then that way, when the pieces come together like this, there's no there's no edges to the wood. It's all looks continuous and it's a very clean look.
Beautiful.
So I've been told.
Oh yeah, I can also see the, this guy. I can see we got a little perch here for our birdie friends.
Yeah, so we have a perch that sticks out underneath the little awning here. So we're going to make sure this is all snug and make sure the miter's all met. We'll put some nails in the back here.
Yeah, we wouldn't want them to get wet either, so it's good we have some overhang here.
Oh yeah, especially with this wet winter we're having.
Oh yeah, it's been nuts. All right, so I I could see you're just about to get that on.
Get the
So,
nail there.
how do you know when you're using enough nails?
You just go by feel.
Okay.
If it feels a little wobbly, you know, or not too secure, you could always throw an extra nail in.
All by feel for you, huh, Louis?
Oh yeah, that's the only way you can do it, right? When you're blind.
All right. Just about looks like it's coming together.
Yeah.
And another.
And then if you want, you could put one right here in the miter to hold that nice and tight.
Oh, now it's perfectly flush.
Yep, check that out. And now we're gonna tilt this on over, and we're gonna get our bottom piece. And the bottom piece is this perfect square, so it'll fit the diameter of the house perfect. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it nice and flush up top. We're not too worried about the bottom right now, but we're gonna get it nice and flush up top.
Okay.
We're gonna put a nail right here.
I see you're putting in the middle this time.
Yeah, so the reason why we're putting in the middle versus the sides is, as you can see, when I shot that nail, it moved at the bottom. So now with the nail being in the middle, it gives us a pivot point where we can move that over a little bit and then firm this thing up on the bottom, giving our home a nice strong foundation. Just so our little birdie friend doesn't fall out of his house when he's, you know, sleeping.
So now we just got to get that perch in, right?
Exactly.
And then we'll be just about done. I can't believe it. I mean, that was so fast.
Yeah, it's really easy to do. You know,
So we just get the perch in. How do we do that? With glue or?
Nope. There's no glue or no nails needed. So you just tip this on its side and get your perch, put it in the little hole there, and it should just slide in. Now, if it's too tight, you could always put a piece of tape on there.
And that'll
to
hold it
firm
firm,
up.
right?
Or
Perfect.
excuse me, if it's too loose,
And
you
that'll
put a
hold it
piece of
nice and
tape.
tight, right?
Yeah. And then there you go. Now you got yourself a completed birdhouse.
That's beautiful, Louis. Thank you so much again for being here. And thanks everybody for watching who tuned in. That's our show. Till next time, I'm Manny Contreras. And don't forget, stay creative, my friends.